What up, donkeys? Jack Hayes here with jackhayes.com, and today we're going to play a little bit of blackjack. We're going to be playing basic strategy blackjack. Blackjack pays 3-2. I believe you can double after splits, and we're going to be just flat betting $10 per hand. And I will be discussing why you make the decisions that you do according to basic strategy. Basic strategy being the optimal strategy for blackjack given your hand and the dealer's up card. So let's go ahead and deal. 9 versus 7. Whenever you have less than 12, you're always going to hit until you get 17. In some cases, you're going to double down. You're going to double down with 11s and 10s, and sometimes with 9s. This is a case where you do not double down, even though you do have a total that's higher than the dealer's up card. With a 9 in multi-tech blackjack, you only want to double against 3, 4, 5, and 6. You want to hit everything else. That's what we're going to do here. Hit. And we have 17. You never hit a hard hand 17 or higher. You always stand. So we're going to stand here. Dealer is a 13, 15, 18. So the dealer just notches us with that 18 over our 17. We're going to continue betting that $10. We started with a balance of $6,000. We are down that one bet and we have $10 on the table. We have a 19. Hard hands stand on 17 or above. 19 is higher than 17. Regardless of what the dealer has showing. The dealer has a 9 in the hole for a total of 18. We win. So we've recovered our loss. We're going to continue. Hard 14 versus the dealer 10. Whenever the dealer has a 7 through ace showing, you're going to hit hard hands until you get 17 or higher. We're going to hit. Too many. One tip, I'm going to keep mentioning this for adding up your totals in blackjack. When you need to hit until you get 17, figure out what card you need for that 17. Figure out what card you need for a perfect 21. If you're lower than that number for 17, you're going to have to hit again. If you're higher than the number for the perfect 21, then you've busted. You don't need to try to figure out what your actual total is. If you have a 15 and you hit and you get an 8, you don't need to know that you got a 23. All you need to know is that you got more than 6. A 6 would have been a perfect 21. You got higher than that, so you busted, so you don't need to do the mental effort. It'll actually save you some mental fatigue. I think it helps me a lot to think that way. Here we have a 6. We have a hard 6 versus dealer 8. Like I said before, whenever the dealer has a 7 through ace, you're going to hit until you get a hard 17 or higher. We're going to hit here. 8, 14, 21. That's perfect. So let's keep going. 20, you have a hard 20, you have a pair of 10s. A pair of 10s is considered any 10 and or face card paired together. You don't have to have 2 jacks, you don't have to have 2 queens. This is a pair, although you are never going to split 10s if you're playing basic strategy. You're always going to stand, which is what we do, and the dealer gets a 13 and then too many. So for this app, I've actually turned off the totals. The totals are usually displayed. But if you practice using this app in anticipation of playing in a casino, you should turn off the totals because you need to know how to add those numbers up in your head. So I always opt to turn off those totals if that's an option. This blackjack app does allow that option to be turned off. So 13 versus 10, hit until you get 17 or higher. We're going to hit. Too many. Dealer had a stiff, but that's all right. If you're playing blackjack, don't try to spend a lot of mental effort trying to figure out what would have happened if you did something differently. You should just trust the mathematicians like me who have done the calculations to figure out what is the best play for every situation. Here we have a hard 10 versus dealer 4. This is a very advantageous situation for you to double. You're very likely to get a 20, sometimes a 21. You have a 1 in 13 chance about of getting a 21. We're going to double. We got that 21 and the dealer busted anyway. So let's play the next hand. 7 versus 2. Really, you don't have to think of anything when you have 8 or lower. You're always just going to hit. Those are the hard hands. I'm not talking about splits or soft hands. Hard hands, 8 or under, you're always going to hit. Depending on what the dealer has, you're going to hit until you get either 12, 13, or 17. So in this case, we're going to hit until we hit 13 or higher. Now we have a 10, very advantageous. Hopefully get a face card, which is what we did. Stand on that 20, dealer has a 22. Dealer had a 12, dealer got too many, we won. So here's our first pair. What I don't like about playing or practicing on apps like these is that you don't come across pair situations as often as you should. If you're weak on the memorization of the basic strategy actions for the pairs, playing on an app is not the best way to learn them. It's better to do either flashcards or apps that quiz you on specific situations. This one should be pretty easy though. So aces and eights, you always split. And people are gonna scoff at that with the eights because a lot of people don't like splitting eights, but eights are a different situation and I'll get into that in a little bit. When you split aces, you're turning a very bad hand or a very meh hand into two very premium hands. You turn it into two 11s basically. Although you only do get one card when you split aces, typically, you are in a very advantageous situation for you to split. Here we're gonna split. You get, oh, this is very strange. They actually allow you to hit after splitting. That is not something you're gonna run into in casinos. They're never gonna let you hit. Maybe resplit aces, and even that is rare. Not just rare that you would come across it, but rare that you would even have that opportunity to do it, because that would require getting 3 aces in a row pretty much. Here we're gonna hit this just because we're gonna revert to basic strategy. We got a 6 for a 20, we're gonna stand. We have an ace 6, which is a soft 17. 17s are actually bad hands, so that is something that not a lot of new players know. If you were dealt a 17 on every hand in blackjack, you just started every hand with a 10 and a 7, you would lose money. It sounds like a good hand, but it's a very bad hand. Some people call it the mother-in-law hand because you want to hit it, but you can't. Of course, I would never say that because I love my mother-in-law. You want to take advantage of the fact that you're not going to bust when you hit this, so you're going to take another card. I'm going to take another card. We actually end up with a much worse hand, but that's okay. We're going to hit again. We've busted. We would have lost anyway. If we stood out on that original ace 6, we would have lost anyway. Even though 5 seconds ago I told you you shouldn't waste mental effort on trying to figure out what would have happened if you did something a different way. I just wanted to point that out to you because it was pretty much sitting there right in front of our face. So here we go. We're going to deal. Dealer has an ace showing. I've said this many, many times. I have a TikTok about this. I have a YouTube short about this. Never insure your hand in blackjack. Never take even money. Even money is just taking insurance when you have a blackjack. Taking even money is basically paying for insurance when you have a blackjack. Never buy insurance. Never take even money. We're going to say don't. So now we have a 15. Dealer has 7 through ace, so we're going to hit until we get hard 17 or higher. We're going to hit. Too many. Dealer had an ace in the hole. Hard 19, any hard hand, 17 or higher, always going to stand. Dealer had too many. And we're just going to keep playing until we hit the first cut card. Dealer has another ace. It doesn't matter what you have in your hand. If you have a 20 or you have a 16, you never insure that hand. You're going to hit don't. Dealer had it. People think that when you have a 20 that you're invincible. It's still possible to lose. Here we have a hard hand, 17 or higher. We have a 19, we're gonna stand. 12, 13, too many. So here we go again, we're up 2 bets right now. Hard 20, stand, never split 10s. 17, we win. We're probably coming up close to that cut card. 13, the dealer has a 7 showing. You're going to hit until you get 17 or higher. Hit. Too many. Dealer had it. So I'm going to dismiss this reward, $225. So we just got a reward in the app for $225. That's going to skew our results a little bit. We are currently up $20. We're going to go. 13 versus 5. A stiff hand is when you have 12 through 16. You typically don't want to bust against a dealer low card. Dealer low cards are the 2s through 6s. You do risk busting in 2 specific situations when you have a 12 versus 2 or 3. Here we have a 13. We are not going to risk busting against the dealer's low card, the dealer's 5. We're going to stand. Dealer's a 7, 14, too many. Let's keep going. 14 versus dealer 10, hit until you get a 17 or higher, hit. 20, very good, stand, push. About as good as you can expect with that starting hand. 7 versus dealer 7, you're gonna hit until you get 17 or higher. You don't consider doubling down with a 7 ever. We have 18. And the dealer has an 18, so push. 17 versus 8, not a great situation, but we can't hit it. 16, perfect for 21. Dealer hit their perfect. You probably want to memorize a lot of the 3-card 21 combinations. Hands like 777, 885, 993, and then like the wheel, the 678, and then figure out what cards add up to 10 and 11, 6 and 4, 4 and 7 add to 11. It's going to help you total your hand, and it's going to reduce the amount of mental effort you use in this game. Let's go. So here we go. They didn't even give us an opportunity to request even money, so I've only been playing with this app for a little bit. I'm not aware of all the rules of it, but apparently they don't ask you if you want even money. But they did pay me time and a half because I used to have a number ending in 5 and now it's ending in 0. So they paid me that time and a half. They didn't give me even money. Time and a half meaning paying you 3 to 2. They pay you basically overtime on your win. $3 for every $2 you bet. 13 versus 8, you're going to hit until you get 17 or higher. Here we go. Too many. We got that cut card. Pair 10s, never split 10s, stand, push. 17, never hit a hard 17, stand, push. So hard 9, you're not going to double this. Here, the dealer does not have 3, 4, 5, or 6, so that means we're going to hit. Great card. Dealer pushes. Let's go again. 12 versus 10, hit until you get 17 or higher. 15, 18, that's good. 16, too many. Against an ace, obviously, we don't take insurance. And we're going to hit until we get 17 or higher. Too many. Dealer had it. So if you want to learn basic strategy, if you want to see the basic strategy charts, you can go to my website, jackace.com. I have a collection of all the basic strategy rules for single deck, for double deck, and for 6 or more decks, and also for hitting or standing on a soft 17. So there are 6 different combinations of charts that you can look at. I have them, they're all complete. If you are a card counter, I do have the high-low illustrious 18 Fab 4 surrender indexes for making your deviations to basic strategy. I'm going to be building a couple more tools for card counters in the future, so please keep an eye out for that and keep visiting my channel, watching these videos. But if you want to learn how to count cards, basic strategy is the very most important step 1. So we're going to continue with our basic strategy lesson here. 15 versus 9, hit until you get 17 or higher. 16, let's keep going, and that's too many. Dealer had it. So here's a 12 versus 2. This is one of the 2 exceptions to the stiff non-busting rule against a dealer or low card. So when you have a stiff hand, which is 12 through 16, you don't bust against a dealer low card, except for 2 exceptions, 12 versus 2, which is what we have here, and 12 versus 3. So for that, we are going to hit. We are going to risk busting, hope for the best. Now we have 13. 13 is just at that threshold where we stop hitting. And that's because there are more cards that bust us now. Before, we only had 4 cards out of the 13 that would bust us, the 10, Jack, Queen, and King. Now we have those same 4 cards that will bust us plus the 9. So 5 out of 13 cards are going to bust us. The dealer will make a hand quite often with the 2, but the dealer's going to bust often enough that we hold back on busting ourselves, which is what we're going to do with this 13. 12, too many, the dealer busted. So we got very lucky there. 12 versus 10, hit till we get 17 or higher. Let's go. 16, keep going. Too many, dealer did not have it. There's our cut card. This is going to be the last hand. 18 versus 5, never hit a hard 17 or higher. We're standing. 13, too many. So we're going to end our session here. We are up actually $25 if we subtract that $225 bonus that we got through the app. 1 bet plus 1 blackjack, which we did receive in our session in this shoe. If you learned anything, remember to like and subscribe. Always gamble responsibly. Never play 6 to 5 blackjack. And peace out, donkeys.